Hi, everybody. Yes, Happy New Year. 2024 is gonna be rockin'. Yes, it's December 31st, 2023, and some people are making a big deal out of the fact that if you write it down, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That happens every century or so. Um, yeah, a couple things. Yeah, remember I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. The full disclaimers down in the box, along with if you want to shoot me an email for a personal reading and the buy me a coffee thing. So that's great. That's wonderful. Let's see what happens now. I've made my calendar for 2024. Um, Next video that's going to go up at regularly 4:30 Central Standard Time will be on January 2nd. Now, to make my life kind of easier, I will continue with the every other day videos. But when the day of the video pops up on a weekend, I'm just going to go live at like 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll do an hour live. So if it's a Saturday or Sunday when a video is due, it's going to be a 1 p.m. live. So basically every weekend I'll be live for an hour so people can come in and ask questions. And because I realized last year there were some weeks that I was doing readings, like when you're doing videos and these readings multiple days in a row, it does get kind of taxing. So I've decided I'm going to continue with the video every other day, and if the video day falls on Saturday or Sunday, I'm just going to go live at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if it is a traditional holiday, like today, I'm just going to throw a video up and people can watch it at their leisure. So that's my game plan for 2024 with this channel. Yes, I noticed that my numbers have dropped a little bit back under 500. I'm guessing because I'm not jumping on and becoming monetized right away. ABC Corp is kind of playing with my numbers, and I'm waiting to see how long it takes to actually get 1,000. I know a lot more people are watching this than are subscribed, so tell your friends, tell your neighbors, hey, tune in. Um, and whatever. I know that because I'm on disability, I would have to declare the gross income off of monetization, but you only get like 50%, but you have to pay taxes on the whole 100%. So it's basically like being an Uber or a Lyft driver doing rideshare. Driver only gets maybe 25 to 30% of what the fare reads. So that's what I'm guessing YouTube creators get. So I'm like, I don't want to have to, if they say, oh, you made $600 this month, but I only get like 200. That's going to blow my disability and blow my medical insurance out of the water. So it's not financially wise for me to be monetized. Because I checked. Health insurance for somebody with RSD, it's the last time we checked, it was like over $40,000 a year out of pocket. Yeah. So let people know, and I'm not going to worry about the numbers, but some of the stuff, I've just been writing down random thoughts and impressions that have popped up in the past couple of days, and I know people are concerned about things. So if you are going to go out tonight, don't drink to intoxication. Remember, it's like 1 ounce of alcohol per hour. And keep your eyes open. Don't have your nose focused on your cell phone, keep your cell phone tucked away on you. Ladies, clean out. Just make sure you're carrying the bare minimum with you and have a small crossbody bag so you don't have to set your purse down anywhere, or use a fanny pack. Keep your eyes open and aware of your surroundings. That's basically my advice for people who are going out tonight. And I know that in some cities, they're providing free public transportation. And if you're going to do that, make sure if you're on a subway car or something, get in the car, the first car where the driver is at. Okay? Because the idiots tend to cause the problems in the cars furthest away from the driver. And always be aware of your surroundings. Watch what's going on. Now, we're all seeing all over the place now, I guess they sent with the jihad invasion, the jihad army that's coming into the States. Yeah, they dropped off a bunch. They flew them up this time and dropped them off at Rockford Airport and then put them on a bus. Well, these mayors are getting pissy because, they're being dropped off at all these other locations here and there and then put on a commuter train into the cities. And that's happening for the Denver area. It's happening for the Chicago area. It's happening for the New York, NYC metro area, which includes New Jersey. Well, they say, the drivers aren't following proper policy and procedure. Maybe they are, but the policies and procedures they're following are the Department of Transportation regulations. You see, drivers can only be behind the wheel for so many hours legally. They're held to the same time constraints as airline pilots and railroad engineers and bus drivers. It's like they can only work so many hours continuously. So when is Pete Butthead gonna pull his head out of his butt and tell these Baboon and Adam's Apple, these guys are dropping them off because they've reached their max hours of driving? Yeah, they're dropping them off where they reach their max. But it's a blessing in disguise, because the people who normally would vote blue no matter who, they're the ones that are getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop. And come the job interview in next November, I keep getting the feeling that they are not going to be voting blue. But if the donkeys try to play computer games again, all of those that no longer vote blue, they are going to raise holy heck. I mean, right now, just go on and start looking at all the guys. I mean, I listened to Officer Tatum and Greg Foreman, which is Black Conservative Perspective. And some of these other ladies, I mean, the African diaspora, I mean, she's great to listen to. They're all getting fed up. And what is it, Raven Simone? She told Oprah, hey, I'm an American. Don't classify me just because of my complexion. So that's what we need to do. So everybody who's been basically shafted by these sanctuary cities, they're the ones that are going to help us turn our nation around, because they now see the garbage. And it's a good thing. And people need to stand together. We are all Americans, and we all need to fight for our country. And they're going to try to throw more poop onto Donald. But the more they throw at him, it's more they're going to be totally exposing the donkey incompetence. I mean, that Secretary of State in Maine, it's now coming out that she has possible alleged psychiatric issues. Is that somebody you want in office, public office, basically running your state? No. I mean, it's bad enough we've got the JoJo puppet there. I mean, I'm seeing so many memes. It's basically JoJo as the puppet on Barry's knee. But still, I'm keeping my eyes on Doug Burgum because he's laying low. But he did do a good job in his own state as governor. And he wouldn't be resigning from any position. I think he's going to be the one that may be offered the VP slot with Donald. I mean, Nikki Haley is exposing herself, and people are waking up to see what kind of fool she is. Swampy? Okay, take a look at his family's culture. And we don't want that here in the States. No. His family's culture, basically, they still think people from that heritage still live like they're in the old country. They haven't become fully Americanized. Exactly. And we know Ronnie D is nothing but a freaking mess. I mean, he's keeping it out of the press, but there are guys walking up, coming off of lifeboats, walking up the beaches all over Florida. And I've had this confirmed by, believe it or not, Florida residents and members of various Florida police departments. Yeah, I mean, they're not talking about it, but yeah, people are getting dropped off and they're walking up on the beaches on the various keys. Yeah. The series of islands like Key West. Yeah, there's stuff coming. They're coming in there. They're via Florida. Now, like I said, we're being invaded by this jihad army and the CCP army. When it's time, people, even now, go in, get your extra card that lets you have something to protect yourself, even though different states are coming up with new different rules like Pugsley Putzker put in. But Pugsley Putzker has never read the Illinois state constitution. State constitution guarantees equal rights to all people. So he's using, I'm keeping termination legal. Duh, he has to. They can't take away complete and confidential health care away from women. If they do, that gives men the upper hand, so it's not equal for the female residents of the state, and we could have a class action lawsuit against the state of Illinois. So by keeping it that every single resident of the state has complete and confidential health care, that's mandatory by our state constitution. It has nothing to do with all the other nonsense. And plus, we know that what's going on in the city of Chicago right now, we can file a lawsuit because those people are now claiming to be they're being treated like residents and being given a ton of stuff when the actual real residents of Illinois were getting shafted. So it's time for those of us here in Illinois to start fighting and bringing this information into the faces of our politicians. Now, I have gotten people contacting me about what's going on in the Middle East. I go, well, Iran has always been the ringleader of all the nastiness. They're the ones that, it's the home of all the occults, and all the jihad idiots take their marching orders from Tehran, Iran. And what they're keeping out of the press is that Tehran is now giving more and more instructions to the Africans, the African Islamic Jihad boys. And while in Israel, they're using Jews for target practice, in different African countries, they're using Christians for machete practice. Yeah. You think the movie Hotel Rwanda was nasty? What's been happening now for more than a decade with the jihad boys going after Christians? People wake up. That's what they're going to start doing here in the States and in the UK. If your complexion is lighter than a paper bag and you're not praying 5 times a day, they're going to be coming after you. So learn, get something to defend yourself. It's needed. It's very much needed. Now, one of the ladies that I turn on and listen to while I'm doing stuff around the house, Amanda Grace, she's Arga Grace Ministries. Okay, she calls herself, she's another psychic and does a lot of prophecy. But she hides behind being, she hides behind religion, but she's a psychic, just like me. And she can see stuff that's going on. And the other day she brought up something, and now we have to remember that she uses the King James Version of the Bible. And the King James Version of the Bible was my instincts, my little people who tell me what's going on, is that the King James Version was actually written by, they rewrote the Bible to suit King James I of England, 6th of Scotland. Yeah, he was the guy who he was king after Huey I passed away, the Virgin Queen. Anne Boleyn's daughter, when she kicked the bucket, then it went to her cousin's kid, James. Now, James was known James liked both boys and girls. He actually preferred the boys, but he knew he had to have a spare and an heir, which he did. Well, he had more than a spare and an heir. He had a couple daughters also. Okay, and his version of the Bible, he had it rewrote so he would not be ostracized for his physical wants. So the people that wrote his version of the Bible, they were actually part of the bloodstream of the Knights Templar. It was written up in Scotland, it's like up by Edinburgh. You've got like the Rosslyn Chapel and stuff. And yeah, the KJV Bible was actually put together by the Knights Templar to pacify the people so they wouldn't go after those that like people of the same sex. And it's ironic because it's the extreme Bible thumpers who use that version to attack people who like members of their own sex. I mean, go in college, I took a class, Philosophical Beginnings of Judeo-Christian Thought. Yeah, we read a lot of Plato and Socrates. And among the old Greeks, they were saying, yeah, it's like, yeah, you marry the wife, you have a spouse to procreate, it's a business arrangement, but then you go ahead and the love of your life is somebody else. Marriage is nothing but a business deal. And kind of strange. I kind of agree with that. I mean, that for years, centuries, that's how it's always been. Marriage for love is a modern day concept. Exactly. I mean, hey, if it wasn't for Martin Bashir, sorry, Camilla would still be the mistress, still be married to Andrew Parker Bowles, and Diana would have been the one who was crowned last May. But Martin Bashir, out of his selfishness, blew it out of the water and creatively edited that interview. So if anybody has blood on their hands, it's Martin Bashir for his own selfishness. Yeah, that's what I've gotten. Now, a lot of the other ladies that I know and the other guys that I know, they're all saying like AI is going to be, watch out, this and that. I go, but keep in mind, okay, people are letting their computer systems go rampant, but it takes a human being to write the computer program. It's like, don't be frightened because we're the ones who tell the computer program what it can and cannot do. And people have to regain their authority and control over all electronics. And parents need to get a control over their kids' electronics because how many kids, there's so many people who are on that frickin' clock thing. And these parents don't realize that their kids are actually getting a paycheck from the Communist government of China. They're employees of the Big Red Sea. They're getting money. They're being paid to be good little communists and everything. And part of it, it is going to be revealed who were the arsonists for a lot of these big fires that have been happening lately. And it's going to be a kid who was filming stuff. We need to start going through all the live feeds during the Lahaina incident, because one of those kids on the CCP payroll accidentally published the footage of the firebug that set it off. We just have to find the footage because it is out there on the net. Yeah, I know. Wake up, smell the coffee. It's out there. We just have to find it. But hey, I want everybody to have, 2024 is going to be rocky. It's going to be a bumpy ride, so have your seatbelts on. There's going to be a lot of misinformation spread out all over, especially as we get closer to the November job interview. The UK, you're going to get another prime minister soon. Justin, idiot, up north of here, up north of the border of the states here, There's going to be a scandal that is going to have to force him to resign. And I'm getting young kids involved. It's going to be bad. And the list of the Miami guy, you got to look at the numbers of visits. People who visited constantly, they were in on the game. The people that had one ride on the plane, they were taken in so they could get blackmail on them. So look at the numbers and the list that is floating around on the internet. Something I noticed, and what people don't realize, is that a lot of these actors, actresses, pop singers, they have a stage name. But on their legal identification, like their driver's license, their state ID, their passport, everything is booked under their real name. So, if they have to list a flight manifest with passengers, by law, they have to put down that person's real name. Okay? They can't just put down Lady Goofball. They have to put down her real name. And the Chicky Poo from Bay City, Michigan, they've got to put her last name on it. Which, okay? They can't just put her first name. They've got to put her last name and middle initial, which is L. So, yeah. That list that's making the rounds of the internet is a false flag. The real documents are going to surprise a lot of people. Someone asked me about Fergie. Okay. Legally, they're divorced, but they never got an annulment. So in the eyes of the church, Andrew and Sarah are still married. On paper, according to legalities, the marriage was dissolved. That marriage was never dissolved in the Church of England. They're still married under the eyes of God, and that's how they're living. And that's why nobody is having a fit about Sarah attending certain events. In their mind, they're still married. They never had marriage annulled. Okay? So stop crabbing, oh, Sarah's there. Sarah and Andrew never, because of circumstances and for financial reasons, that's why they had to legally undo. It was all for financials, for the money, because of money situation. But under the eyes of God and the vows they took that day, they're still married. So, yeah, like I said, keep your eyes open today when you go out and about. Have fun tonight. I'll have a video up at regular scheduled time, 4:30 in the afternoon on Tuesday, the January 2nd. And it'll be the even days of the month in January. And if that falls on a Saturday or Sunday, I will be doing a live at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Unless it's a holiday like Easter Sunday or Palm Sunday, something like that. Then I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted. But everyone, play safe tonight. Remember, if you do overindulge a little bit, a couple of aspirin and lots of water before you go to bed. Yes. Learned that in college. It helps the next day headache. You need the aspirin to thin the blood and water to rehydrate yourself. So, Happy New Year, everybody. And I will be talking with everyone on Tuesday the 2nd. Bye-bye.